Class, today we're going to discuss improving style in fiction writing. And that'll be broken up into two parts that are very much connected. Concision, which is writing concisely, and word choice. Word choice really matters because if you choose the wrong word, it can ruin the tone of your piece. It might even make it less concise because then you might have to put in other ugly intensifiers such as an adverb like very or to, T-O-O, in order to help a substandard word meet the challenge that it's still not going to meet because you can just find a better word. So concision is best summed up, of course, by the bard Shakespeare, who said, brevity is the soul of wit. Right? Polonius gives that advice to Laertes, and he's telling, ironically, Polonius talks way too much in that play, and I think Shakespeare is probably doing that intentionally. But being brief is hard. It takes revision oftentimes. I wish my writing would just come out the way I imagine it could best be the first time around, but that's never true for me and probably not for most people. So brevity is the soul of wit. Use fewer words. Here's an example. I could say, he was very strong. That's a weak sentence, ironically. Instead, you could say he was Herculean. Now you have the word Herculean, which is a more interesting word, and it stands out a little bit more, and it is only one word as opposed to using two. Now, Herculean has connotations, right? The connotation is it's associated, of course, with Hercules, the ancient Greek mythological hero, the demigod. So if this person that you're describing is heroic, or even a demigod, even better. Then you're almost in plagiarism territory, honestly. But if that person is troubled, though they're very strong, then even better than that. Because Hercules was very troubled, of course, having killed his family by some accounts. So being concise matters. You don't have to use up extra space on the page. You know, when a reader is picking up a book or something that you've written, there's sort of a contract between you. And the most important part of that contract is you're not going to waste their time. You're going to entertain them. And if you're wasting time using adverbs and weak words in order to prop up some flimsy word you picked, then they might close that book. And you're probably not going to get it published in the first place, at least unless you self-publish, because you are not putting the work in ahead of time that is necessary to be an author. So the second part of that, of improving style, is word choice. Now, choosing the right word really matters. I'll give you an example. This is also related to concision. As I said, there was a lot of overlap. I could say, students, there is great heat and light. There's a conflagration. There could be issues with inhaling oxygen, and there could be a calamity of embers. Now, that would probably confuse a lot of people. Maybe some people would figure out what I'm really saying is fire. Fire is much more effective than saying all those other words I said. One word can do the job of many sometimes, and it would sometimes it's downright dangerous to be a poor communicator. And so, in that example, so choosing the right word matters. Being concise matters. So, I'll give you another example. Word choice. Now, I'm going to tell you a story. It's a little bit morbid. It's a little bit graphic, so just keep that in mind up front. That's your warning. So, let's say I'm in a room teaching, and the window shatters, and a man has rappelled through the window, and he pulls the rope out from his harness that he's used to rappel, and he pulls out a rusty World War II bayonet, and he eviscerates my guts. And so blood spills out, my entrails spill out, I fall on the floor, and I'm dying. Now, let's retell that story. I could also say a man repelled through the window shattered, and he pulls out a rusty World War II bayonet, and he pokes me in the tummy. Now, that word's probably not appropriate, unless you're telling this story to children, and I would not tell the story to children, so that's not a good word choice at all. Tummy, stomach, belly, they can all mean the same thing, but you want to make sure you choose the right word for the tone for your piece. What are the connotation? What comes along with it? If you're talking about a tummy, it should be a kid's book, I imagine. So, similarly, think of Mordor in Lord of the Rings. That sounds a lot like the word murder. Good choice, Tolkien, for a place of evil, because it sounds like murder, right? It's also German for murder, so it makes sense. So, in conclusion, the goal of this was to help you improve your style in fiction. I think that was clear. And if you try to write concisely and choose the right word, then you should be able to write the most engaging and best fiction that you can. Thanks for watching.